Brookings just published a piece. Brookings Institution is kind of research thought think tank by Wendy Edelberg and Louise Shiner, suggesting that raising the debt limit, well, first of all, they point out that raising the debt limit is not about new spending. It's not about living within your means or a budget or a credit card or any of those other BS metaphors, analogies that Republicans like to use. It's about paying your credit card bill. It's about paying bills for expenses that Congress already authorized, and the United States government has already taken delivery of the goods or services, and now it's time to write the check. That's all it is. And, you know, they point that out quite clearly, and the debt limit right now is $31.4 trillion. We hit it on January 19th. And so, you know, they asked, you know, what's going to happen if the Republicans actually refuse to raise the debt limit? And first of all, they say if the debt limit binds, if they absolutely refuse to hold that, you know, to raise that debt limit for like a couple of years, all federal spending will have to be cut by 20%. Let that sink in. I mean, that's how much we've cut taxes on billionaires. This is a very simple thing, right? We were, throughout the Eisenhower administration, well, from the end of World War II, in the Truman administration, the Eisenhower administration, we steadily saw the national debt go down throughout Eisenhower, throughout Kennedy, throughout LBJ, throughout Nixon, throughout Jerry Ford, throughout Jimmy Carter. The national debt was steadily declining because the top income tax rate was, you know, well, up until LBJ, it was 91%. After LBJ, it was 74%. So, you know, it stayed really, really high. And so billionaires were paying their taxes, and we were paying down our debt. Then Reagan comes along in the 80s and reverses that and says, no, we don't want billionaires to pay their taxes anymore. Average people, we're going to raise their taxes 11 times, but not billionaires. And so our debt now starts going up with the Reagan administration, and it's been going up steadily ever since. And if we were to just say, okay, we're going to cap all our spending, we'd have to cap it with a 20% cut in federal spending or a 20% increase in taxes on the very, very rich, which Republicans won't go for. So what's going to happen? Well, they say if it were binding for even a few days, it would produce lasting damage. If financial markets started to pull back from U.S. Treasuries altogether, they write the Treasury would have a difficult time finding buyers when it starts rolling over maturing debt. This would, in other words, they have to start paying more interest, so it costs our nation more. In fact, the last time that Republicans took us up to within a couple of days of the debt ceiling, you know, crashing through it or crashing into it, the Government Accountability Office, the GAO, estimated that cost taxpayers $1.3 billion. That little Republican stunt that they did in 2011 to whack Obama and try to get, you know, cuts to Social Security, that cost us $1.3 billion. They say that, you know, if this continues, you're going to see home mortgage interest rates go up. You're going to see credit card interest rates go up. You're going to see a 30% decline in the stock market. You're going to see a 10% drop in the value of the dollar. You're going to see between 2 and 3.1 million people lose their jobs. Which brings us then to Jody Arrington, the Republican from Texas, who was on CNBC this week, last night actually. And he was asked by Andrew Ross Sorkin, the Squawk Box host. He said, the question I'd like to ask you is whether you think this debt ceiling is going to be used as a bargaining chip in a way that could turn dangerous. Now, you would think, turn dangerous, that a Republican would say, nah, we'd never do that. He says, quote, I believe it will, and I believe it has to. They want to do this. They're quite enthusiastic about doing this because they know it'll produce a 2-year recession. And 2 years from now is when the election is happening, and then people will blame Biden for the recession. Chip Roy has already said he wants to use it to demand more border security, the Republican congressman from Texas. So, you know, get ready. Hold on to your hat. You know, it's, again, don't follow my investment advice, but I no longer have any stocks. I bailed out of the market altogether in our retirement savings. But I am very concerned about this. These guys are playing with fire, these Republicans, and they think that they're the heroes in this story, and I think they're going to be the goats. They think that by causing a recession and throwing millions of people out of work, people are going to get pissed off at Joe Biden. I don't think the media is buying their BS like they did during the Obama and Clinton administrations. During the Obama and Clinton administrations, the media went along with the Republican narrative. Frankly, I'm not seeing that happen outside of Fox News right now at all. Are you? What do you think is going to happen? How's this going to play out?